Hey everyone! Okay, so through this explainer today, we're gonna unlock something literally life-changing. You know how we usually think of success, influence, and wealth as these impossible targets? Like you have to grind for a lifetime to reach them? Well, what if I told you there's already a blueprint sitting right there in your astrological chart that maps out exactly how you should be connecting with the world? Today, we are decoding the absolute secret to influence and success. We're looking deep into the 12 houses, specifically zeroing in on the house of networking. And hey, don't worry, this doesn't mean awkwardly handing out business cards over stale coffee. No way. Whether you're building a massive empire, scaling your personal brand, or just, trying to navigate your career with a little more grace, this is the master key you've been looking for.
Okay, let's dive into this. It's a question we really need to ask right off the bat. Like, do you think socializing actually has tangible, measurable value? When you look at the absolute titans of industry, the big bosses, those visionary CEOs, do you honestly believe they're building their empires just using cold, hard cash? Or is there a hidden currency they're trading in? We get so caught up thinking raw capital is the only thing that builds a business. But as you'll see today, the relationships you cultivate, they might actually be the single most valuable asset on your balance sheet.
And wow, this brings up a massive pain point, right? Especially if you're an introvert. On one side, we've got the I person, the introvert, who might feel totally drained by endless networking events, but desperately needs that social leverage to get their ideas off the ground. Then, on the other side, we have the E person, the extrovert, who just naturally draws a crowd, they thrive in the spotlight. For the introverts watching right now, you're probably wondering, how on earth do I compete with that without totally burning out? Well, the astrological tool we're analyzing today bridges that exact gap. It's a real game changer because it gives you a customized strategy that works specifically for your energy.
So to really grasp this, we need to quickly define what we're actually talking about here. In astrology, the house of networking, or Rinmek Mu, is the specific sector of your birth chart that strictly controls the relationship between you, the individual, and the broader group. Think of it as your social architecture. It totally dictates how you interface with society at large. Studying this specific position deeply is frankly absolutely crucial for anyone trying to navigate social dynamics. Why? Because it moves you way past generic one-size-fits-all networking advice and points you directly toward what actually works for your unique astrological makeup. Now, what's super fascinating here is just how incredibly practical astrology can be. This placement isn't just about casually reading a horoscope. It acts like a strategic mirror. It literally forces you to consider exactly how you uniquely interact with crowds. Are you the kind of person who thrives one-on-one, or are you a stage-commanding speaker? More importantly, it forces you to figure out how to leverage your existing network to actually achieve your goals. It totally shifts your mindset from, I need to meet more people, to, wait, I need to interact with the right people in the right way.
And if you doubt how important this is, just look at the top tier of success in our society today. For those incredibly powerful enterprise owners and highly charismatic stars, crowd affirmation, basically gathering a crowd and getting their validation, is the absolute deciding factor for whether they thrive or fail. A fantastic product without an audience, it goes nowhere. A brilliantly talented singer without a fan base, just singing in an empty room. The house of networking is critically important for these folks because gathering that crowd is literally the engine driving their absolute success.
Which brings us to a massive realization from our source material today. Listen to this quote. When your wealth can be tied to your network, becoming a wealthy person is usually not difficult. So the crucial point here is that there is a direct, undeniable link between your social circles and your financial freedom. Think about it. If your income relies purely on your own two hands, you're always going to be capped by your own time and energy. But the moment your wealth intertwines with a thriving, supportive network, the ceiling completely lifts. Your network actually becomes a multiplier for your net worth.
But how do you actually activate this network, right? Well, it all boils down to resonance. Once you decode the secrets hidden in your house of networking, significantly boosting your influence becomes, honestly, nearly effortless. Why? Because you finally know exactly how to resonate with your people. You stop trying to appeal to everyone, which, let's face it, appeals to no one, and you start speaking directly to the specific crowd your astrological placement is naturally designed to serve. You just intuitively understand their needs.
Moving into Section 1, Planetary Styles, specifically Venus versus Mars.
To make this completely concrete, let's look at how wildly different this can play out depending on your specific chart. This perfectly proves that effective networking is absolutely not a one-size-fits-all formula. What works for a Venus-ruled networker will straight up backfire for a Mars-ruled networker, and vice versa. Let's start with Venus. When we break down the traits of Venus, we see it rules over beauty, aesthetics, and harmony. It's heavily associated with high-priced items, luxury, and governs what we call secular or earthly beauty. So I want you to imagine for a second, What kind of crowd does this energy attract? It's definitely not going to be a rough-and-tumble, highly aggressive environment. It's going to be refined, appreciative of value, and highly attuned to aesthetics.
And that is exactly what the source material reveals. If Venus happens to be the ruling planet of your house of networking, you naturally draw in affirmation from women, aesthetics enthusiasts, and professionals in high-value luxury industries. You don't even have to force it. This is just the crowd you naturally magnetize. So to use this power effectively, you have to learn to leverage these specific high-value demographics. Your whole networking strategy should naturally revolve around art, beauty, high-end experiences, and really cultivating an environment of luxury and harmony.
Now, let's shift gears entirely. Let's see how this creates a completely different reality when we contrast Venus with Mars. Just look at these characteristics. Mars is driven by struggle, competition, and intense drive. It possesses really strong military and martial traits. It's even physically associated with metal, fire, and casting. We're talking about a very intense, combative, and highly industrial energy here.
And this brilliantly illustrates how a different planetary placement demands a radically different leadership style. With Mars ruling your house of networking, you are definitely not hosting high-tea or luxury art gallery events. You're attracting military-style crowds. You're going to be surrounded by leaders in mechanical engineering, folks in competitive sports, or people managing large groups of industrial workers. Your network inherently respects strength, directness, and action. If you tried to use those Venus tactics here, you'd fail, for sure. But by fully embracing that competitive, industrial nature of Mars, your influence over these specific groups becomes absolute.
And guys, this is the ultimate payoff. Whether you're ruled by the aesthetic harmony of Venus, the competitive fire of Mars, or literally any of the other planets, the core principle is exactly the same. When you truly understand the unique planetary style of your house of networking, you don't have to desperately chase down leads anymore or force those awkward social interactions. By just aligning your actions with your innate astrological design, the wealth network, the exact right connections you need, naturally approaches you. You literally become a magnet for your specific tribe. So how do we actually turn this theory into practice? I want to walk you through a quick, practical homework checklist so you can analyze your own chart today. First, identify what the ruling planet of your house of networking actually is. Then, take a look at who else is at the party. What specific planets actually fall into this house in your chart? Next, observe which zodiac sign governs this house, because that really dictates the baseline fortune and flavor of your social life. And finally, check if any innate benefic planets, the lucky stars, are bringing joy and easy advantages into this house. Take a moment to really reflect on these 4 points. They literally hold the architectural blueprint to your social success. Which leaves us with the absolute most important question of the day. Have you checked your house of networking yet? And more importantly, are you ready to stop fighting against your own nature and finally unlock your hidden social wealth? Please, don't let this just be some interesting concept you heard about today. Pull out your chart, find that house, and start strategically building the exact network you are destined to lead. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I highly, highly encourage you to start applying these insights to your own life right away. The right crowd is out there, just waiting for you.
点赞关注，你会越来越棒的。